In this video, let's look at two topics that won't influence functionality of your code, but actually will allow you to create nicer and much more readable code. So these are comments and line wrapping. So let's start with comments. So idea of comments is very simple. Basically, it allows you to add some text to your scripts, and PineScript won't execute it. So this way you can just basically explain to other people or to yourself in the future what this code does, or you can use it to basically separate pieces of the code with some kind of sections. So it's quite easy to create a comment in PineScript. So basically everything starts with 2 slashes, won't be executed. So basically if PineScript will see 2 slashes, remaining of the line, it won't look at it, it won't execute it. So basically you can put there whatever you want. So I use quite a lot of this kind of sections where I basically separate pieces of my code with them. So basically if I have like a lot of inputs, I will put this like a header. And if I have some functions, I will put like header functions. If I have a section dedicated to strategies, I will put a section on it, and so on. And if you have really long code, this kind of separators can help you a lot to navigate through it and to find pieces of the code you want much faster. Also, I use quite a lot of this kind of comments when basically you just explain what next line of code is doing. And so here I have compute simple moving average, so basically I'm just explaining just that. And also in PineScript, what you can do is you can put your comments kind of inline after the expression. So here I plot something and I put after it slashes and my comment, and PineScript will execute my plot, but after it will see 2 slashes, everything else won't be executed. If you want to add some very like small comments, compact comments, you can use this way as well. Now let's look at line wrapping. So idea of it also, it's pretty simple. So if you create really complicated indicators, you will see quite quickly that you have really long lines of codes. And for example, you can see that quite quickly with conditional operator. If you have a few nested ones, you'll see that your line is very long. So fortunately, what you can do is you can actually separate this kind of a complicated expression in few lines basically, and add few new lines. So for example, I can put my this on the new line, but the only important thing is that you actually have to add some indents, and this can be any amount of spaces, but it shouldn't be like multiple of 4, because multiple of 4 is reserved for like functions and like loops, if statements, and so on. So I can, for example, add 3 spaces as I did this here, and this will work fine. Also, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put amount of spaces so that basically kind of content, logical content on my both lines will correspond to itself, and this way it's much easier to understand what's going on. And for example, I also can put 0 on the new line, and this way it will be much more readable and you can much easier understand what's going on in this expression. And actually you can do the same thing with like function calls, for example. So you can see I have here like one expression, I just have like really long function call with many arguments. And if you find that your line is too big, what you can do is you can put it on the new line and just add some spaces. Also as well, you cannot use multiple of 4 amount of spaces, and this way it will work fine. If you really like that, what you can do, you can actually put like all your parameters on the new line. There's also some people like to do that. If you like it, you can also try this. Actually, this way really big functions actually look much easier to understand.